Hey friends, what is up and welcome back to my channel. As you can tell from the title of today's video, today we're going to be doing my June TBR. Now, a little bit of a disclaimer, I am right in the middle of participating in the Read Your Gaze Readathon. I'll list up above the TBR that I did for it. I'm really liking all the books that I'm currently reading, so I think I'm going to be able to get them done in a week. So I did want to sit down and think about the books that I wanted to read for the rest of the month. One of these was actually voted on by my Patreons. That is the book that I'm going to start with in this what's it called? TBR. I'm a little bit scatterbrained. I haven't been getting a whole lot of sleep for some reason. I've been playing a lot of video games. I actually took an entire day off of social media and was like, I'm gonna get so much done, so much that I want to get done. You know what I did? I beat Bioshock Infinite in like 12 hours because I literally sat at my computer for 12 hours and played that damn game. Anyway, enough rambling. The first book that I'm obviously going to be reading is Cersei by Madeline Miller. Cersei, I don't know how to say this. I don't actually even know much about this book. I list, as always, the books down below that I have either read or talked about in a vlog or talked about in a video, so this is going to be listed down below for you guys. I'm really excited to read this though because everyone loves this book. I have yet to see somebody who didn't absolutely love this. If you go on Goodreads, the reviews are phenomenal. This is of a mythology, which is all I really know about it, and honestly that's all I really need to know to want to read this. Mythology, whether it be Greek or Roman or even Viking, has been one of my biggest interests since I was very, very young, so this is something that I know I'm probably going to love just because of that aspect of it. Once I finish up my Read Your Gaze readathon, this is what I'm going to be diving into, and I'm really, really excited to read it finally because it's been out for forever. The next book I'm going to be reading or going to be finishing, which I'm actually currently reading during the Read Your Gaze readathon. I know, I probably shouldn't be doing that, but I'm doing it anyway. It's The 10,000 Doors of January. I am loving this book. This was sent to me from Orbit, and this comes out in September of this year. But basically what this follows is our main character, January, lives in an old house with an old man, and her dad is out trying to find artifacts for him. And she is kind of like entombed, basically, in this house. She's not really allowed to leave. When she does, she gets kind of harped on a lot because she is of darker complexion, and this does take place in the 1800s. It's like 1800s, early 1900s. It kind of jumps around because January has the ability to open doors through this book called The 10,000 Doors, and she's able to experience basically alternate realities or alternate timelines. And it's really, really cool. I am almost done. I'm on page 274, and I think there's a little over 300 pages. So I'm going to try to finish this today. But so far, you guys, this is definitely a 5-star read for me. I've already pre-ordered it on Amazon because I'm actually passing this along to a friend that I think would really love it. And oh my god, like I can't say enough good things about this. I think I'm gonna do a whole video review for people who are interested in picking it up later. And so far, definitely one of my favorite reads of the year. The next book I want to read is a little bit different for me because I don't read classics, but if you saw the unboxing video that I did, I'll leave it up here in the cards for you. It would be Persuasion by Jane Austen. First off, this cover is fucking beautiful. This is from Bookishly. It is a UK based subscription, and they do a classics book box. So they base an entire box around the specific novel. So you know what the novel is going into it, and this month it was Persuasion by Jane Austen, and everything has like this really pretty blue pattern. It's very, very gorgeous, but I actually have an interest in reading this because when I uploaded that video, I asked that I have been wanting to start reading classics. I didn't really know where to start, and a lot of people said that this is a great place to start. So I'm going to try to read this month. Jane Austen seems like a really incredible woman as well. Everybody who ever talks about classic authors always talks about her as just being a stunning human being and a very interesting human being, and I really like learning about authors as well. And another cool thing about that box is they actually send you information on the author, so that's really kind of cool to me. So I'm going to be trying to tackle this month. We'll see how it goes. Let me know down below if you read this and if you liked it. The general consensus is that this is a really, really great Jane Austen book to start with, however. Now, a few of the next books I'm going to talk about are actually repeats from my TBR for May. I didn't get around to them because life was crazy. The first one that I'm going to be reading is Fatal Alliance by Sean Williams. This is the next Star Wars novel in the Old Republic. I'm really liking these. I'm actually considering listening to them on Audible or like Scribd or something because they do usually have a full cast, as well as they have like sounds and things like that in it, and I'm just really excited to finally dive into this. This is a world that I truly, truly love. This one I do believe is from a Sith's perspective as well, which I do enjoy a lot more than reading from like Jedi perspectives. If you guys are not familiar, Revan I didn't really enjoy, but Deceived I really, really enjoyed. Revan is obviously about Revan himself, and the Deceived does follow a Sith character, so that is what I'm really looking forward to, is hopefully this is a little bit more of a Sithy goodness, because that is what really interests me. The next book I said I was going to read last month that I never got around to is Skyward by Brandon Sanderson. Our main character of this book is Spensa, which, by the way, I hate that name, but it follows follows Spensa. She is essentially trying to follow in the footsteps of her father. Her father is killed. They are in a, I always want to call them like flight school. It's kind of a flight school, but that is what the story follows. It's her just trying to follow in her father's footsteps and trying to, I'm assuming, kind of clear her name. This is the first Brandon Sanderson book that I will have ever tried to actually read cover to cover. I did try to read Elantris and everyone said do not start with that book, and it kind of burned me out and it wasn't interesting enough, and I never picked up another Brandon Sanderson book. Once this came out, however, I was really interested. Everyone I know that read it absolutely loved it. A lot of my friends say this is one of their favorite books of all time. So I didn't want to know too much about it because I didn't want to ruin the mystery for me. So I tried to avoid spoilers, I tried to avoid reviews, I tried to avoid pretty much anything that people were talking about this book, because I want to go into it completely blind, which I tend to do with a lot of the books that I read, but especially with this one. So the little tiny bit that I know is more than enough for me. So I'm really, really excited to read this. I'm hoping this will be a book I'll read in like a couple of days, because I really want to just like binge this, because it's been sitting on my shelves for quite a while. Then the next book I have here is a book that I have been waiting on for a very long time. I am eventually going to be buying this book. This is actually a library book that I got, but it'd be Finale by Stephanie Garber. This is the last book in the Caraval Legendary trilogy, essentially. I'm not going to go too much into what this book is about because I don't want to spoil the other two books for you. This is a very, for me, underrated series. I feel like I hear a lot of people talking about it, and I feel like a lot of people are like, but why do you like that? Because it's actually not that good. They look at other people who enjoy this and they're like, but why? I think it's actually very, very good. My favorite is Legendary. That was definitely the one that I was like super in love with. Caraval kind of gave me those feelings of magic, and I really appreciated it for that. But I definitely think Legendary brought a little bit more of that, but also a little bit more of like magical realism and what real life is about. And this book, I'm really excited because I need to know who's an asshole and who's not an asshole, because the entire series you're like, okay, who's a good guy and who's a bad guy though? Like, you don't know. And I'm really excited to see kind of how Stephanie kind of wraps it up in this one, and I am pumped for this, you guys. I'm absolutely pumped, and I really need to read this because I need to get it back to my library because I've had it for quite a while at this point, and it's been on my TBR for a long time, so I think it's time to just finally get it done in the month of June. Now the last book I have here, I'm not going to linger on for too long, but I will put the announcement video up here for you guys, and as always, links are down below, but it would be Dread Nation. We are actually reading this for Read, Rate, Review, which is our new book club that we started. It's kind of an amalgamation of quarterly book club and then Book in a Jar, which G used to do. We kind of just threw it all together to make things a little bit easier for everybody. This is going to be a bi-monthly read-along that we're doing, and I believe the next live stream is the beginning of July, which actually works really, really well for me. I'm really excited to read this. So I don't know a whole lot about it, but I've heard really mixed reviews on it, which I think is why I'm really excited. I want to see where I fall. And we were actually talking in chat on Twitter, and a lot of people were talking about how they were having trouble finding this book, and we were like, well, what happened to when we could just like buy the books that we wanted to read? And then people were like, well, we keep hating on the books that we keep doing for Read, Rate, Review or quarterly, so we're like really kind of nervous about going into this. I'm pretty excited though. I can't wait to see. I do like that there is a black main character. From what I've heard as well, is a female black main character, and it is kind of a retelling of historical events, if I'm not mistaken. She kind of looks like she's in like early Americas as well, and then it does look like she's hunting something. She has like a scythe. I don't really know what this book's about. I'm not reading. I don't want to know. I want to go into it blind. The only thing I am not excited about with this book is it has deckled edges. I'll list up here my unpopular opinions video, but I hate deckled edges, so not really excited about that, but am still really excited to finally dive into this book this month, because our live stream is going to be, from the time you're seeing this, about 3 weeks from now, so I do need to get on it. Alright everyone, so that is it. That is going to be my June TBR. Like I said, I'll list up above or down below, whichever one I choose, my Read Your Gaze Readathon TBR as well. So those are going to be the books that I'm focusing on in the beginning of the month for the first week, and these other books that I just spoke about are going to be the ones that I'm going to try to finish later on in the month of June. But I hope you guys enjoyed this video. If you did, please give it a thumbs up and think about subscribing. Let me know down below the book that you're most excited to read in the month of June. I love you guys a lot, and I'll see you in my next video. Bye!